stuff for you. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ayodele-Makun. If this is your first time seeing my face, I'm a Nigerian YouTuber currently based in Canada, studying and living here. And if this is not your first time of seeing my face, thank you for returning back to watch my videos. You guys are the real OG. Thank you so much. And first of all, Happy New Year, guys. It's a blessing to be able to see a new year, and all the struggles, all the pain, all the things that we had to go through, all the success, all the joy we had to go through in 2024. We thank God that everyone survived it, and thank you so much guys for sticking with me thoroughly throughout 2024. I started this YouTube channel sometime in March in 2024, and here we are with over 600 subscribers, and I know we can do more this year. So please guys, kindly stick with me, keep up with me, keep up with my videos. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe, like on my videos, comment on my videos. It will go a long way, and it will also encourage me to be able to put more information out there for you guys. And if it is your plan to also look into graduate schools, apply to schools outside the country, I'm going to be sharing some information, at least from the little knowledge I know. So yes, let's get into today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my statement of intent, also known as statement of purpose, that I used to apply to UBCO, and some of the requirements or things that I needed to submit to UBCO during my application. So first of all, I would want to say, number one, if you are looking at a school that you want to apply to, there are some major and important things you need to look at, especially if you are going to be going for like a research or coursework. Is also known as coursework or a coursework in the school. So that the decision is up to you. So you have either a coursework or a research work that you want to go for. So if you are going for a research work, you need to look at the requirements. If you are going for a course based, you also need to look at the requirements. So I'm going to be focusing more on a research base because that's the line or path I passed through. So for some programs, you might require like a supervisor before you can apply to the program. Take for example my own program, which is an MSc in sustainability, where I needed to find a supervisor before I could apply to the program. So if you don't get a supervisor, there's no chance of you applying to that program. And so I'm just going to be going into the requirements. So number two thing is also to look at what the international student requirements is, because a domestic or a Canadian student is also different from the requirements, is different from what an international student is expected. So you're so supposed to look into that information. Some schools might require you to take like some tests, like some English tests. Some schools might not require that, but I know like most Canadian universities might not require that, especially if you are coming from an English speaking country. So those are key things to look into. And also you also need to look at what the tuition fee is like, to be able to see if it's something you can cope with, especially if you're going for like a course based, or maybe it might not bother you too much if you are going into like a research work, because your school might have funding, your supervisor also might have funding, so you also need to consider those things. And let me see if there's any other thing. I think that will be all for now, and I'm just going to go quickly into the required documents that I submitted for my application to UBCO. So number one was that it was an online application, and you also needed to pay an application fee. So for the application fee, there are some schools that have application fee waiver. So you need to thoroughly check the school website or your faculty website or your departmental website to be sure they are not offering like a application fee waiver. If they are not offering it, it is also very possible that you can talk to your supervisor about it, and if he says, oh, they don't have that type of options, then you need to start preparing your money down. But another thing you can do is also reach out to the graduate school or the school itself to confirm if they have application fee waiver, in case you don't find anything on the website. So it's just good to do your findings, and then once you do this, you know where you stand to be able to know if you're going to pay or you are going to get an application fee waiver. So number two thing that you need is an official transcript from your post-secondary institution where you attended, either for your master's or for your postgrad or bachelor's. You also need to get like your transcript. Then you need to write a statement of intent, which I told you about. Then you might need an English language test depending on your country if you don't speak English, but then if you speak English, you might have that waivered for you. And then for your CV or your resume, you need to submit that, and you need to reference forms or letters. So this way the document I submitted to UBCO for my application. So I'm just going to be going deeply into my statement of intent. And disclaimer please, I don't want anyone to copy my SOI here for word, because this was something I put my hard work into. I didn't use ChatGPT or anything. I didn't use any AI. I think I'm going to mention like what the question was about like what I needed to write for my statement of interest, and because they asked the question right for that. So I'm going to state what that was. Sorry, I'm just looking at my system here because this is where I'm going to be reading everything from. So I just want to look for the question I was asked for the SOI. Okay, so the question is, please attach a brief statement of your academic and professional goals and how this align with this graduate program. So that was what they required, right? For my SOI, it can be different for your school. Your school might give you like some questions they want you to follow and guidelines to also write your SOI. So it can be different, but please do not copy a word for word or verbatim. It won't help you and you won't grow that way, because if you are going into graduate school, you face challenges of writing essays, and it won't be nice to like always rely on someone else's guideline verbatim, like copy and paste. So it won't help you on the long run. So but then I'm reading this out to be able to give people an idea of what my SOI look like and how you can also develop yours from what I have on ground. So I titled the statement of interest interdisciplinary MSc in sustainability at UBC Okanagan. So I said more than half of the world is currently not on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, which is the SDGs, by 2030. I was filled with a lot of hope when I learned about the SDGs in 2016. In particular, I was drawn to how they were deeply interconnected to secure a healthier planet and a world with shared prosperity and reduced inequalities. It was that year I decided to pursue an interdisciplinary research career in climate change and sustainability. Since then, I have been committed to contributing to the knowledge, policies, technology, partnerships, values, and resources needed to renew our collective hope and achieve accelerated progress on climate action, governance, and sustainable development. This is why I'm keen to pursue an MSc interdisciplinary degree in sustainability at the University of British Columbia Okanagan campus, UBCU. So don't worry guys, I'm going to put like a picture somewhere around here for you guys to be able to follow along what I'm reading. So my commitment and interest in sustainability deepened as I progressed through my undergraduate training in meteorology and climate science at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria. I learned that climate change is not just an environmental issue. It also takes pressing socio-economic, ethical, political, and humanitarian issues and makes them worse in a complex manner. The sustainability and interdisciplinary lens, therefore, is increasingly required to address these challenges. This perspective shaped my current research interest in exploring sustainability in Earth system governance issues, with a particular focus on climate change impacts, nature climate policy, conservation and land use management, environmental equity, disaster risk reduction, and sustainable development. This focus perfectly aligns with the suitable future research programs of, then I mentioned my supervisor's name, who willingly agreed to be my MSc supervisor. I'm excited to work with this person. I hope to develop and undertake research on the integration of climate change consideration in British Columbia forest landscape planning pilot projects. As the province modernizes its forest management strategies and develops new sustainable outcomes in collaboration with the First Nations and other partners, it will be critical to assess climate risks in the pilot areas and evaluate how this influences the plan's sustainability, suitability, collaboration efforts, and decision-making process. So I'm going to stop here for a bit and explain everything I've just read, paragraph by paragraph. So I think I had about 4 paragraphs. I've read 4 paragraphs to you guys right now. So the first one, I just introduced my passion with what I wanted to study, like how that passion developed into what I want to currently study, and maybe a little bit of effort or things that I've also dived into that surrounded what I want to study currently. And then I stated that all these things are what motivates me to wanting to study for a master's at UVCU. Then the third paragraph, I talked about where I studied, or like my training from my university, and things that that are surrounding why I studied what I studied in my university for my undergrad, and how it also relates with what I'm also doing for my master's currently. And the fourth perspective, I talked about what my current research interest is. This is really, really important, especially if you are going into research. You need to state your research interest and how it aligns with that of your supervisor, if you do have a supervisor. So you need to, show that connection, and also what your future work might likely look like. It doesn't mean that this future work that you are currently stating in your statement of interest is what you would finally do once you come in. It can change. All these things I stated here are not what I'm currently also pursuing right now. So there's that flexibility, and it still depends. It boils down to you if you want to pursue that. But just give them the idea that you know what you are doing and you have an idea of where you are currently headed to, right? So the fifth paragraph. My academic, professional, and personal experiences have sufficiently prepared me for the rigor of graduate school and success in the interdisciplinary sustainable program at UBCU. I worked as an undergraduate operation and research intern with the Nigerian Meteorological Agency for 6 months in 2021. I helped prepare extreme weather advisories, assisted in climate research, and participated in climate education outreaches. This improved my ability to communicate complex environmental information to a range of stakeholders and the public to enable better decision-making on issues relating to disaster preparedness, water management, and sustainable development. I completed my bachelor's in May 2023 at the top of my class with a cumulative CGPA of this. Then you can put the percentage also if you want. I exceeded expectations in my coursework and undergraduate research. Some of the related classes and labs I took are world climatology, applied statistics, science and politics of climate change, principles of economics, climate and society, urban climate, air pollution, climate science. I'm just going to put ETC there. You can list as much as possible. There were more, you would see it on my screen, but I don't want to waste time. In addition, I completed and pursued a seminar research on how emerging technologies and innovations could inform resilience and address loss and damage in Africa, as well as a thesis on the impact of future climate change on urban thermal comfort in Nigeria urban centers, using high-resolution climate models and a policy synthesis approach. I am currently preparing both papers for publication. So this was the fifth paragraph, and I just talked about my academic and professional and personal experiences I've had. I started with my internship, then I moved on to some of the research I've done, I moved on to some of the coursework I've also done. So you can attach like some coursework that you have done in your undergrad with what you might likely be doing now or seeing yourself, envisioning yourself studying later on in the future. So you can make a list of them just to show that connection that, oh, you're not far away from what you want to study right now. And also, if you have like some publications, you can mention that. And so we're moving on to the sixth paragraph. I said, furthermore, I received a travel grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So we're moving on to the sixth paragraph now. Furthermore, I received a travel grant, mentioned the name, to present my thesis research at the American Geophysical Union First Chapman Conference of Climate and Health in Africa, which was held in Washington, D.C. I was the only undergraduate there. I also presented this research at the second Open Science Conference of the World Climate Research Program, which was held in Kigali, Rwanda. Additionally, I shared perspectives from my research on loss and damage during the Youth Blast at the 2023 High Political Forum on Sustainable Development in New York. So, in this sixth paragraph, what I mentioned was all the research I had done that I also was able to, showcase at different conferences, be it online, be it physical. And I just selected some of those conferences and highlighted them. So that was what I did in the sixth paragraph. Moving on to the seventh paragraph. I believe in community building, so I am proud to have been elected to serve as Vice President of the National Society of Meteorological and Climate Students from 2019 to 2020. I received the scholarship for academic excellence and leadership from the Ondo State government, and also placed on the Dean's Honor List multiple times during my bachelor's program. Despite the disappointment and life disruption from experiencing 2-year-long university closure due to COVID-19 and lecturer strike action, I refused to give up, worked hard, and took advantage of environmental sustainability-related courses available online for my learning and self-development. Whether it's this kind of thing, kind of disruptions, or the seemingly high invisibility of being a first-generation Black woman from a lower middle-income country in a conference room abroad, I have learned to keep my goals, celebrate differences, and remain resilient, flexible, and collaborative. For all these reasons, I'm confident that I will continue to achieve academic success as a graduate student while contributing to the social, cultural, and intellectual diversity at UBC. So, for this, I think this is the seventh paragraph. I just talked about, like things I've used, like just showcasing how I was an all-round student and not just focused on academics alone. How I served in my, in my department, and also won like different scholarship. You can also talk about that. And finally, all the challenges I faced while in undergrad school and how I didn't let that stop me and still made me wanting to pursue this postgraduate course at UBCU. So I just talked about that. And moving on to the eighth paragraph, I said UBCU's interdisciplinary graduate studies program stands out to me because it promises a collaborative environment, first-rate courses, high-quality interdisciplinary research training in sustainability, access to professional development opportunities, and a diverse network of on-campus experts, students, and external partners. UBC itself is globally respected for its comprehensive teaching and research excellence, including in sustainability research and knowledge. UBC ranked 13th out of over 1,400 institutions in the 2022 Times Higher Education Impact Ranking for institutional effort to advance the SDGs. Yeah. I am inspired by this leadership and its ongoing commitment to advance sustainability. On another note, I know I will thoroughly enjoy living in the beautiful Okanagan Valley and adventuring across the mountains, lakes, trails, and vineyards. These are why I'm choosing UBCU, and I cannot wait for UBCU to choose me back. If you guys ask me what was my favorite line in this SOI, that was my favorite line. These are why I am choosing UBCU, and I cannot wait for UBCU to choose me back. So in this, I think 8th or 9th paragraph, I just talked about highlighted the good things I've seen about UBCU, both academically, both external of academics. I just highlighted all those things. So that means you need to do your thorough research into the school and also the location of where the school is located. So you bring those out and tell them these are the things you have seen about this particular place or the school itself, and this is why you want to enjoy all these things, or this is why you want to be in the position, to be able to benefit from all these things. So the last paragraph now, guys. On graduation from UBCU, I would have contributed to addressing the sustainability and climate change challenges facing British Columbia's forests through my research. Furthermore, I would have gained new knowledge, professional network, and interdisciplinary skills in sustainability. I intend to immediately secure a position as a research and development analyst, helping organizations and governing bodies achieve their climate goals and make more suitable choices in the way they innovate, plan for disasters and extreme events, build resilience and protect or use environmental resources and natural assets. I also hope to mentor and share my experiences with younger Nigerian women interested in interdisciplinary graduate studies and research. In the long term, I want to help shape climate, governance, and sustainable development research initiatives, and also contribute to implementing aspects of the SDGs, especially at subnational and local levels. Thank you for your time and consideration. And that was it, guys. Just 2 pages and talked about everything that they needed to know about me, about my passion, about why I want to study at UBCU, about why I'm taking this particular course and how it's related with what I studied in my undergrad. So guys, that is everything I wrote for my statement of interest. If you have any question whatsoever, please drop it in the comment section. I'll be able to answer any of your questions. Please do not forget to like this video. Try and support me. This is a new year, change that behavior. I'm just kidding, guys, but please do not forget to like my video. Do not forget to subscribe. Encourage me. I need all the love I can get right now on this channel. So please do encourage me. Share this video to loved ones I know would need help writing their statement of interest to any school that they want to. This is a guideline I shared, and this can really help you and go a very long way also. And I'm going to be sharing more videos also later this year about how you can source for schools, look for schools that can help you with your graduate journey, that is related also to your graduate journey. I'm going to be sharing all those videos, so you want to stick stick tightly with me this year on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Thank you for all the love. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe once again. Comment, share with your loved ones. Comment you love this video or would like to see more, or you have any questions. Comment your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. See you in my next video where I'll be talking about how to look for schools for your graduate program. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.